Bro, I don't even know how to reply to this. So, despite the fact that Pokemon has released a brand new update for Pokemon Legends ZA with the Mega Dimensions DLC, Pokemon's relevancy this month can be summarized entirely with this GIF, or GIF, or however you say it. Yes, Beedrill from Pokemon Stadium 2 using String Shot, and obviously you can probably see why this has been a big meme and a joke and everybody has been using it here and there, because it happens to look like Beedrill is, well, having a good time. Beedrill has always been a really weird Pokemon coming from the original generation, and even though it is relatively B-shaped, just a bit more anthropomorphized, for the most part when you see it in things like the anime it is oriented properly. But when it comes to sprites and 3D models that we've seen throughout the year, the stinger is always basically facing forward, which does give it a bit of a weird look because it is so anthropomorphized. Like, come on man, there's a big old bulb and stinger right between the legs, what are we supposed to interpret that as? The thing is, it isn't even really just unique to Beedrill. Sometimes in Digimon you'll see Fanbeemon with the stinger facing forward a bit, and especially in the evolution Waspmon. I mean, heck, you go over to Yu-Gi-Oh! And basically every Battle Wasp monster has its legs spread open and the stinger facing right at you. Because it only makes sense, these are fictionalized bees living in a fantasy world, and if they want to fight you, it makes the most sense for their weapon to be facing forward with their eyes. Compare this to real life, how bees would land onto something before stinging it. If you really wanted an effective attack and you were a big bee monster, then this is just the peak form. Now back over to Pokemon Stadium 2, a game that everybody normally loves for all the weird animations and honestly, just the regular Pokemon Stadium as well. When it came time to include Beedrill, the moveset was honestly pretty limited. It does have the signature move Twin Needle, which would obviously be used by the two twin needles on its hand, but for a ranged attack like String Shot, how are you supposed to animate that on the 3D model? Well, the animators definitely made a choice. I can't lie though, this is hilarious, and whenever me and my brothers and friends as kids would play this game, we would laugh hysterically whenever we saw Beedrill do this. Yeah, it is immature, but oh my gosh, it is so funny. Like I said, over on Twitter it's gotten really popular, with the user at Mosuyanagi posting it a whole bunch, and being the one that really put it on the map, resulting in so many people also posting the same GIF and creating some fun fan art. It has also really brought back to the surface all of the amazing animations in the Pokemon Stadium games, for better and for weirder, and even though I did get my own viral tweet out of the whole situation about freezing Beedrill to stop all the madness, I cannot lie that I am so proud of this community for replying to this and quote tweeting it with the original GIF anyway. That is exactly what I want to see. But it is also hilarious to see some love for a Pokemon like Beedrill of all things. I'm not saying that this is a Pokemon that's been forgotten about. We see it a whole bunch in the anime, and whenever you go back to play the Kanto games, it's always there. And I mean, yeah, like I said, we just got Pokemon Legends ZA, which has the return of Mega Beedrill, which by the way has got an even bigger stinger and is a lot less subtle. But it is always really funny to give a Pokemon a viral moment like this that we can all associate with it. That is all meant for good laughs. Sure, we are kind of making fun of the weird and janky animation, but at the same time we're also appreciating all of the loving care that was put into a Pokemon in a video game like this. You guys remember when Ash caught a Beedrill? Okay, I know he didn't keep it, and it is one of his Pokemon that is one of the most obscure, but whenever I go through the bug catching contest in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, I'm always reminded of the episode that adapted it into the anime. And yes, Ash does catch a Beedrill as part of it. In fact, he even wins the whole thing, but at the very end he gives the Beedrill to Casey, who is a character we also see reappear later on, and I think it's really neat that she gets to keep the Beedrill and it becomes one of her main Pokemon as well. Though it does make you think, what if he actually kept the Beedrill and we got to see it use String Shot in the anime? Yeah, maybe it was a good idea that he gave it away. Funnily enough, the Johto games are the only ones that feature sprites of Beedrill facing normally, trying to intimidate the opponent with the stingers up front, and keeping the tail behind it where it belongs. But of course, yeah, even in the 3D models of the modern generations, the pose goes back to the weird default that we all know and love. I always thought Beedrill was a really cool Pokemon, though I never actually used it in any of my playthroughs. I got really close to doing so in my second playthrough of Pokemon Legends ZA, but decided to go with Scolipede instead. But maybe this whole thing is a wake-up call for us to actually use a Beedrill once in a while. Again, I know the Mega Evolution has its niche, and I think it's really interesting how actually going through the Mega Evolution they decided, okay, let's just put it all into attack and speed the way it should be, even taking away points from special attack where it's not needed, so Mega Beedrill ends up being pretty funny in that way. Dude, the Fel Stinger goes crazy sometimes. Though I will say that probably one of my favorite memories was the actual Beedrill card that I had way back when. Having a lot of hand-me-downs of the first generation of cards that I wasn't really around for, I was always enamored by the Beedrill card from base set. And yes, it even did have that wacky pose because it was a Ken Sugimori artwork. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below about all the memes going around this last month, and what you think about Beedrill. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you tired of the memes or anything? Or are you gonna go and embrace it and have a little fun just like our Beedrill fan here is? I don't do this as often as I should, but leave a like, subscribe, hype up the video, it all really helps out, especially as we're coming out toward the end of the year. Now that I'm kind of finished with Pokemon Legends ZA, I think I'll still be kind of mixing things up, going back to some more meme discussion stuff like this and evergreen content, so let me know what else you'd like to hear me discuss. Man, I can't believe it, I got through the whole video without actually saying that it looks like Beedrill is jizzing. Oh wait, no, cut that out, cut that out! Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the Great Gators, Alex Switch Shiny Hunts, Koi13, Cemetery Hill, Cheez-It62, GatorKid509, TF, Mathaclog947, Taijirai, Phantom, and Quago. If you'd like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes for comments, live streams, sometimes early videos, join a member's Discord, and listen to the podcast as it comes out, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I will catch you all later.
When you played with 251 Pokemon in 3D, nothing would impress you anymore. Pokemon Stadium 2, gotta catch 'em all.